And welcome to The Last Word. My name is Tanisha, your host here at The Last Word. I created The Last Word for myself, and The Last Word is just simply your space to be heard, and that is all. Thank you for tuning in to this week's topic. Basically, all we're doing is a recap from last week, a recap from Power-Filled Thinking. That is the topic that we talked about last week. And I got 2 additional subscribers, and I am excited. Thank you, and welcome to my new subscribers. So let me try to hold this camera steady and hold it back so we can just get to the recap. So basically, I appreciate my subscribers that I picked up, and I appreciate the feedback. One of my subscribers is a coworker, and I'm so grateful because then that way I can see somebody in person that can say, hey, I seen your video and I really liked it, and this is what I didn't understand, and hey, I had a question about that, and I'm just so grateful for that. But anytime you have questions, anytime you have something you want to add, something I didn't think about to add, please just let me know. I welcome that because that matters to me. That improves my channel, that improves what I do here. It helps me grow. So just please do that. I do welcome that. Also, I just want to keep my eye on the actual camera because I'm a little self-conscious. I ain't gonna lie. So I tend to look at my hair and if my hair is right and all that stuff like that. But y'all not here for that, and neither am I. We are here just to talk about the things that I am bringing each week for personal development and personal growth. And so I just wanted to do a recap on the Power-Filled Thinking. If you did not see the video on Power-Filled Thinking that I did from last week, please check that video out here on my channel. It was I really liked it a lot, okay? So it really helped me a lot. So I just wanted to talk a little bit more about it and just kind of recap. Basically, Power-Filled Thinking is just looking at life and looking at having a mindset to where you look at a glass from the half full side, right? So, and I'm so grateful because one of my coworkers, she mentioned to me that she really liked that point, but the connection, wasn't all the way there. So I was like, okay, well, I can just kind of bring that back and kind of make that connection. But basically, one of the points, well, she brought out a couple points to me that I just wanted to clarify and bring back again. So I'm just so grateful for that feedback and everything that she was able to give me. But one of the points, because I'll jot stuff down because I'll forget, so I have to jot it down. But one of the points that she brought up to me was the fact of the example that I gave of 2 little kids, if they step on your toe on purpose, or even if they did my mistake, it worked. That connection to the Power-Filled Thinking and the point that I was trying to make, how that compares to the Power-Filled Thinking, is how you do it on purpose, basically. In the same way that if somebody steps on your foot on purpose, it worked because they actually stepped on your foot, it's the same way that Power-Filled Thinking can work for you if you do it on purpose, okay? So anytime you're doing something on purpose, we know that it works because you actually do it because you're doing it intentionally and deliberately. And so that's the only point that I was making about that. Let me get a little sipper. Mouth getting a little dry, but anyway, so yeah, so that's the point that I was making about that. I hope that sheds a little bit more clarity on the point that I was trying to make. It's just that simply when you do it on purpose, it works, and you have to deliberately, intentionally continue to do it on purpose every day. Just keep the focus on the positive always. And another point that she brought out to me was the fact that the glass is half empty, or rather it's half full. And my point with Power-Filled Thinking here on The Last Word was that, hey, even if you still have a glass, you still have something to work with, basically, is all that point was. Even if your glass is empty, you still have a glass. That means simply use whatever you have, no matter how great, how small, use it. Like here, I have no YouTube skills, but I can talk, okay? And eventually I want to look forward to building my YouTube channel skills to be able to expand my channel more and more, get more viewers, get more likes, shares, and more engagement on YouTube, right? But right now, all I have is my phone and my thoughts. So, I mean, I'm just using what I have. And right now, you know, my glass, I don't consider my glass empty. I got 11 subscribers, and I'm grateful for the 11 subscribers that I have. So I'm just using what I got, you know, and I'm still just trying to hold this phone steady because I don't want it to be all up in my face. But I'm learning. And like I said, I'm a new YouTuber, and I basically just wanted to chart my journey to growth, personal development, and different things like that. And it's sometimes you start kind of late in the game, because especially if not all my life, but most of the time when you have struggles in life, that's really all you can focus on. And when you're focused on how you're going to pay your rent, how you're going to pay electric, how you're going to put food on the table, the things that, you know, are really important as well can kind of get pushed to the back burner, like your emotional health. Am I okay? You know, your mental health. Am I still sane after all the struggles and everything, you know, that we face? Those things we kind of put on the back burner. And then eventually it don't hit us until time later. And we wake up and we're like, oh my God, am I still having these thoughts? Wait a minute, how old am I again? So, but it's never too late to start. And that's another thing about the power field thinking, is understanding that if you're still alive, it doesn't matter how old you are. As long as what you're doing at whatever age you are, begin to make it positive from where you are. And I think there was a post about that, and I wanted to share that post, but I didn't get to write that down. Maybe I'll come back and bring that later another time. But basically, begin where you are. You can't change the past. You can't change, you know, whatever you have neglected in your personal development. You can't change that thing. You have to just those things in the past. Just have to recognize that, okay, I neglected to do certain things that I should have done years ago. So what am I going to do about it today? And that's the power of power field thinking. Okay, being proactive to do positive from where you are, and start where you are and move forward and continue to move forward deliberately, intentionally, and on purpose. So another point, those were the 2 points that my coworker gave, and I hope that I have clarified that a little bit more. And some other points that I want to bring out in the power field thinking, just some additional points anyway, is that sometimes people with a negative mindset, and I wrote this down, sometimes they don't realize that it could be worse. You know, sometimes another point that I want to bring in addition to that, is them not realizing that it could be worse. And when I say them, let me make it clear that that includes me, because I used to have a negative mindset, and I did reveal that in the power field thinking that I did last week. I used to have a terrible, terrible negative mindset. And I always look at the fact that, oh, woe is me, you know, I grew up like this, and that, all the problems that I had. And in another video that I did as well, you know, I mentioned, hey, I'll probably have to get that and come back and let you know, or either add it to the comments later. But another video I did as well, I had mentioned that sometimes we so focus on the problems that we have and everything that we're going through in our life that we don't even look up to realize how many people are going through certain things and how many people's circumstance is worse than ours. You know, so another thing that helped me with my mindset back then, even though I still struggle with a negative mindset, is charities. Like, I did Operation Christmas Child. I was introduced to that, you know, at the time at the church that I was going to. And that really, really kind of was like a beginning stage of me coming out of my, you know, negative mindset and the self-centeredness, to where it was always me focusing on woe is me, and, you know. But Operation Christmas Child is an organization that started with Samaritan's Purse with Billy Graham and Franklin Graham. They are the founders. Franklin Graham, I believe, is the founder. But whenever I started doing that back in 2008, I was so grateful for that experience, because it helped me to get out of myself, because they share stories of children in different places. And one of the stories really, really touched me about a child, a video that we saw of a child overseas. But Operation Christmas Child basically is where you fill up a shoebox, a gift box for children overseas who don't have Christmas in that. I don't, you know, I really, you know, don't celebrate certain holidays anymore with, things that I've learned now. But at the time, I didn't have certain understanding of certain holidays and different things like that. But at the time that I did that, they would show videos of different children in different countries who were without and how hard their circumstances was. And one video just was so profound, and I'll never forget. It was just like it was land, and trash was just piled completely high, and the kid was just going through this mountain. They were just large, huge piles of trash looking for food. And when I saw that, it changed my whole outlook on everything, and helped me to understand and see that I'm not the only one in this world, for one, and I'm not the only one that goes through a struggle, and even in childhood, right? Let me get a sip. All right, phone giving me time to even get a sip of drink. Anyway, but yeah, so that will change your outlook. Charities, when you give and start doing for other people who really are truly, really worse off than what you are, it really will change your mindset. And other charities that I've done is with corn, and I'm looking forward to doing some other charities as well to get back into the volunteerism. But I end up doing the Operation Christmas Child from 2008 is where I kind of got that beginning, and then I did it all the way up through 2014 to the point that my employer would allow us to do it during our lunch hour. And so I did it each year, and each year we were able to give more boxes and pack more shoe box gifts. So I really enjoyed doing that as well. That really helped me. And, if you are a person that suffers from negative mindset, what you can do, I'm still not looking in the camera. Anyway, what you can do is begin to look at some ways that you can maybe volunteer or something like that. If you don't have that much time to volunteer, but that's just an option. And when you do, the experience will change you and change your mind and definitely give you a different outlook. Look into some local food pantries where you can volunteer. Maybe look at, if you like children. I did volunteer one time at Boys and Girls Club. I've done that before, but different things like that, just to kind of get your mind off of, oh, woe is me, instead of woe is me, wait a minute, somebody else, is also going through something bad. What can I do to be able to help somebody else, right? So, but basically those was all the points, and this is just basically coming in with this week with a recap. And another point that I had is people with a negative mindset have infectious negative energy. Is why those with wealth or positive mentality kind of avoid people with a negative mentality. So that point that I had wrote down, I want to bring that back to kind of clarify, the statements that I was saying in the videos that I did. I don't know if somebody's trying to open this door, what in the videos that I did live about a wealth mentality. And basically the point that I, was bringing up was how sometimes, people that are wealthy or well-off tend to seem stuck up, because they don't want to be around you or something like that. And that's not to say everybody they don't want to be around has a negative mindset, but basically to say that they, protect their wealth mentality by avoiding people with a negative mentality because it's infectious. A negative mindset is infectious. And, you get around somebody, and that's another reason why they say evil corruption or bad manners corrupts good manners. Evil corruption corrupts good manners, because you tend to pick up the bad habits and the bad mindset when you get around people who are constantly focused on those things and constantly talk about those things. And that brings up the other point that I wanted to make, is about the negative people tend to focus more on problems and symptoms of their problems rather than a solution and being proactive. Okay, I have this problem. I recognize I have this problem. What can I do about it? And begin to take steps, small steps, toward what you can do to fix the problem, and be consistent and persistent and go through the process of whatever that problem may be until you solve the problem or until you resolve it. So, and then that's another thing with the fact that they focus on the problems and the symptoms, is they also talk about the problems and the symptoms. And like I said, I've done this, I've been there. So, instead of talking about the problems and the symptoms, talk about your blessings and how blessed you are, and talk about the good of the situation, you know, how it could be worse, you know, and be grateful for the fact that it's not worse, right? Or not, you know, what it could be. Yes, it's bad, but it could be this, you know. So, yes, I have this situation, but, you know, it could really be that situation, you know. So just try to focus on it that way. And basically, the talk about your blessings more than you talk about your problems, I got that off the Power of Positivity page on Facebook. Also, I'm on Facebook, The Last Word at The Last Word 2018. This thing just keeps drinking because my arm, and I've been drinking coffee, Lord have mercy. But anyway, so another point I wanted to bring up that I didn't mention in the last week's Power Field Thinking is, so this is sort of like a recap and kind of like in addition to or whatnot, in addendum, whatever. But okay, so health does not always come from medicine, but most of the time it comes from peace of mind, peace in the heart, peace of the soul, and it comes from laughter and love. And I got that from a page called Positive Energy Plus with a plus sign, and that was off Facebook. But basically, that's why sometimes when you see people who meditate and all that, you know, I don't get into meditation. I mean, I do meditate on good things and things like that, but I don't get off into it, you know, real. It's not like a spiritual thing for me. It's just a moment where I take to just clear my thoughts and allow my mind to just kind of be calm and, you know, think of good thoughts. And then sometimes also prayer, you know, just praying during those times. So it is spiritual. Meditation is spiritual for me. It's like a quiet prayer time, you know, where I'm meditating on God's word or meditating on how God is going to be there for me and the thoughts that God has for me. But at the same time is, you know, for some people, that's what they do. And I mean, some people who do that are like healthy. They are like extremely healthy, slim, beautiful skin, bright skin, everything like that. And it's because they allow their mind to focus on good things and to be able to be quieted, you know, because sometimes our mind can be noisy where we have a lot going on in our head. But when we quiet the noise in our mind, that really scientifically, like on a cellular level in our bodies, helps to balance everything in our bodies. So, and that's why when you hear, you know, about people who worry so much or who have a lot of drama going on, it puts a stress on your body physically. And so, you know, understanding the power of positivity and the power of positive thinking, who knows, that can lead to stabilized health, basically physically on a physical level, because it affects you physically. So mental and emotional health affects us physically, and a lot of people don't realize that, or, you know, don't focus on it. So we cannot neglect emotional and mental health just as much as physical health, because the emotional and physical mental health does have an effect on our physical health also. So that was another point that I didn't bring up in the last one that I wanted to bring up in this one. And then another one I liked that my coworker posted on her page was afford. The definition of afford, okay? I cannot afford to have a thought in my head that's not in God's head about me. Okay, we know what's in God's head because he told us in Jeremiah 29:11, for I know the plans I have for you, plans not to harm you, but to bless you, to give you a future and a hope, right? So God's thoughts about us is to give us hope, to give us a future, and he has these plans for us. And Jeremiah, that's when, well, Jeremiah, you know, in Jeremiah 1, chapter 1, it talks about God, how God blessed Jeremiah in the womb and everything like that, and had a plan for him ever since he was in the womb. So God has always intended and had a plan for us, and he has good thoughts about us, okay? Plans to bless us and give us a hope in the future. So, and I think that was pretty much it, just to recap. Just to come back and say, hey, you know, this is some more stuff that I want to add to the Power Field Thinking because it was just so good. It really helped me a lot. So, but that's it. I'm going to get out of here because sometimes I get a little winded. But thank you all again for watching. As always, please subscribe and share. If you know somebody that this can help, Please share that with them. And thank you for watching. Bye bye.